In the bustling heart of ancient Alexandria, a city of scrolls and scholars, lived a woman whose intellect would echo through the ages. Her name was Hypatia. But who was this brilliant figure, often hailed as the first female mathematician, whose life is reasonably well recorded? Born around the year 355 A.D., Hypatia was the daughter of Theon, a renowned mathematician and astronomer at the famed Museum of Alexandria. Think of the museum not as a collection of artifacts, but as a university, a vibrant center of learning. It was here, surrounded by the greatest minds of the era, that Hypatia's own prodigious intellect was nurtured. Her father, recognizing her exceptional talent, personally mentored her, providing an education that was unheard of for a woman of her time. She studied mathematics, astronomy, and philosophy, mastering concepts that baffled many of her contemporaries. She became the head of the Platonist school in Alexandria, attracting a devoted following of students from all corners of the Roman Empire. These weren't just young kids. They were aristocrats, future leaders, and thinkers, both pagan and Christian, all eager to learn from her. Imagine her lecture hall, filled with people hanging on her every word as she unraveled the complex philosophies of Plato and Aristotle, or explained the intricate movements of celestial bodies. She wasn't just repeating old knowledge. She was a genuine philosopher in her own right, celebrated for her eloquence and her brilliant, logical mind. One of her most famous students was Synesius of Cyrene, who later became a Christian bishop. His surviving letters to her are a testament to the deep respect and admiration he held for his teacher. He addressed her as mother, sister, teacher, and benefactress, and frequently sought her advice on both intellectual and personal matters. Through his writings, we get a glimpse of her character, wise, compassionate, and a trusted guide to many. Synesius even asked for her help in constructing scientific instruments like an astrolabe and a hydroscope, demonstrating her practical expertise in applying mathematical principles. Hypatia's contributions to mathematics and astronomy were significant. While none of her original writings have survived intact, historical accounts tell us she wrote commentaries on major works, like Diophantus's Arithmetica and Apollonius of Perga's Conics. These commentaries weren't just simple explanations. She expanded upon them, making complex ideas more accessible and possibly adding her own alternative solutions and new problems. Think of it like a brilliant professor today, writing a definitive textbook that clarifies and builds upon foundational theories. She also assisted her father, Theon, in revising Ptolemy's Almagest, the most influential astronomical text of antiquity. Her role in this revision was so substantial that some scholars believe she was more of a co-author than a mere assistant. Her life, however, was not confined to the serene halls of academia. Alexandria in the early 5th century was a city in turmoil. It was a cultural and religious powder keg, with rising tensions between Christians, Jews, and pagans. The Christian patriarch Cyril was a powerful and zealous figure, eager to assert the church's dominance over the city. On the other side was Orestes, the Roman prefect or governor of Alexandria. Orestes, a Christian himself, valued the city's intellectual traditions and maintained a close friendship with Hypatia, frequently consulting her for advice. This friendship placed Hypatia in a dangerous position. She became a symbol of classical learning and pagan philosophy, even though she taught students of all faiths and was respected for her neutrality. To Cyril's more extreme followers, she was seen as an obstacle. Her influence over Orestes was perceived as a threat to Cyril's authority. Rumors began to spread, vile and baseless accusations designed to tarnish her reputation. She was accused of practicing black magic and of preventing a reconciliation between Orestes and Cyril. This slander painted her not as a philosopher, but as a wicked sorceress who was poisoning the governor's mind against the true faith. The situation escalated dramatically during Lent in the year 415 A.D. Political and religious tensions reached a boiling point. As Hypatia was riding through the city in her chariot, she was ambushed by a mob of Christian fanatics, reportedly led by a lector named Peter. They dragged her from her chariot and took her to a church called the Caesareum. There, in a horrifying act of brutality, they murdered her. The historical accounts are gruesome and heartbreaking. They stripped her and used sharp tiles to take her life, before dismembering her body and burning her remains. While it wasn't the single event that ended the classical era, it symbolized the violent clash between the old world of rational inquiry and a new, more dogmatic religious fervor. Many scholars, fearing for their safety, fled the city, taking their knowledge with them. Hypatia's legacy is complex. For centuries, she was largely forgotten, a footnote in the grand narrative of history. But she was rediscovered during the Enlightenment, and later embraced by feminists as a martyr for intellectual freedom and a powerful symbol of female achievement against overwhelming odds. She is often portrayed as a victim of religious intolerance, a brilliant woman destroyed by ignorant fanaticism. And while there is truth in that, her story is also a testament to the power of knowledge, the courage of an individual, and the timeless pursuit of wisdom. Hypatia of Alexandria was more than just a victim. She was a pioneering mathematician, an inspiring teacher, and a respected philosopher who commanded the attention of the intellectual elite. She dared to be a public intellectual at a time when women were expected to remain unseen and unheard. Her life reminds us that the pursuit of knowledge is a noble and sometimes dangerous path, and her tragic death serves as a stark warning about what happens when reason gives way to hatred and fear. She remains a beacon of intellect and courage, a star that once shone brilliantly in the Alexandrian sky. Thank you for joining me on this journey into the past. If you found this story as fascinating as I do, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell for more deep dives into history.